All right, I am going to talk a little bit about how to deal with getting DQ'd in the IBJJF. It can happen to the best of us, it can happen to the worst of us. IBJJF DQs are frequent and sometimes very unexpected. The positions that warrant a DQ most of the time comes from the reaping position. Now, the problem with that is a reap is not just as simple as your leg crossing over their leg in the reaping motion. It depends on the placement, not of just your leg, but also of your hands. So you can put your leg over in a reaping motion into the honey hole position or the inside senkaku or whatever you're going to call it. Now, it depends on where your arm is. If your arm is over the leg, like an ankle lock position, over the leg that you're technically reaping, it's illegal. But if it's underhooked, it's not illegal. Now, the problem is when they explain this in the rules, it's shown from a double guard pull position. So it's a neutral position. Now, every position in jiu-jitsu has three areas of effect, right? There's three phases or forms of the position: top, bottom, and neutral. So that's taking the same exact position, the two people, putting one person on top in the position, the offensive person on bottom in the same position, and then the offensive person in a neutral position, which would normally look like a double guard pull. So the problem with that is refs have a very hard time distinguishing between what is neutral, what is top, and what is bottom. So when they show the illegal position, the screenshot of the position in their head looks neutral. They don't really talk about it like what happens if the person is on top or if it's in a dynamic movement, like passing. Like the top guy's passing aggressively, the bottom guy throws the position on. All they see is the leg crossing over the hip. But it could technically be legal still because you're not torquing the knee in any way. So if you feel like you've been wrongfully DQ'd, one of the most important things you need to realize is that the IBJJF will take a second opinion if you stay on the mat. If you leave the mat, the DQ will stand, regardless of how much you complain or who you talk to. You left the mat, the bracket's moved on without you. If you stay on the mat, you can get the head ref to come over and look at the position again. They'll even do a video review and look and see what the deal is. And I've done this before. So the time I got DQ'd against Tarsus Humphreys, I did what was a totally legal reap. I underhooked the leg, which is legal. It's only if you overhook it that it becomes illegal by their rules. I underhooked the leg and then attacked a toe hold on it. The position was dynamic. Tarsus was trying to pass my guard, and I threw the leg over, attacked the toe hold with the underhook on the leg, and then we spun out of position. We spun. The position is exactly the same in the legal position, but because it wasn't recognized by the refs as being the screenshot image that you see in the rule book, they're confused, and a bunch of refs agreed that it was illegal. But if you go back and watch the video, it's not illegal. I'm not reaping his knee or torquing his knee in any way. I have the leg underhooked by their rule set. It's just in a dynamic, fluid position, not a static, neutral one. So it's dynamic or rolling and spinning through. People just see the leg reaped over. So it's like a misconception. Now, the problem with disputing your DQ at the IBJJF is if you stay on the mat and insist that they look over it again and that you think the ref is wrong. They'll come look it over, but the guy will have already raised the other guy's hand. Now, if you're DQ'd from a position that you attacked and the guy did nothing, but you were DQ'd, they raised the guy's hand, you're like, what the hell? That wasn't illegal. Come look at it again. Like, I want a second opinion. Please come look at it. They'll come look at it, but they're not going to restart the match. They just let the match go on because the other guy always just walks off the mat because he won. So he just leaves. You're stuck there trying to defend yourself, and then they don't call the guy back. Now, one of these situations happened with a teammate of mine, Adam. He attacked a knee bar position, and then he got DQ'd for the knee bar position. Like, I think he wasn't. He was a purple belt, so he was attacking something else, but the guy's leg went straight in what looked like a knee bar, but it wasn't a knee bar. And we spoke to them. I'd tried to talk to the ref and told Adam to stay on the mat, but they pressured him to leave the mat. They left the mat. He left the mat. We talked to the head ref. They're like, we'll look at it and we'll email you. And so the guy, Adam lost the match. I don't know if they ever emailed him, but I know for a fact the position wasn't illegal based on the rules. Now the problem is a lot of these refs don't compete at like the competitive level. Like even a purple belt, the purple belt jiu-jitsu competitive level is very high, and there's a lot of strategy and a lot of rule manipulation and trying to take advantage of the rules, make sure to avoid the illegal positions, but still use the full gambit of jiu-jitsu. A lot of the refs don't compete at that level. There's a few that do, but I saw a ref recently who does compete at the highest level make a totally wrong call and didn't give points where the guy where she should have given points. I need to make a video with like references to all the positions I'm talking about, but in general, if you're getting DQ'd, the only situation where they will reverse the DQ is if they review the footage, you stayed on the mat, they review the footage, and it was deemed that the other guy forced you to reap them. Because then that's the only situation where they'll DQ the other guy and allow you to continue the match. Other than that, they just apologize and are like, sorry, we were wrong, but the bracket's already moved on and the guy left, so it's over. So basically there's no winning. And if you get DQ'd wrongfully or rightfully, it's over. And I think that's a huge problem with the IBJJF rules. And something needs to be done about it and changed. Because I've been a victim to it a few times. One time, I was DQ'd against a guy named Diego Gamonel. It was my first black belt worlds. I had beat Leandro in the absolute. And I was tearing through my division. And then this guy, Diego, forces my leg across while I'm playing guard against him. Literally grabs my ankle, forces it across his body. I let go with my hands like, whoa, he's forcing me to reap him. I let go. You're not allowed to say anything to the ref because then they'll penalize you. You say anything again, negative points. Again, you get DQ'd. So you can't talk and explain like, dude, you didn't see him grab my foot and reap it across his body? Go look at the video, 2014 Worlds. Search 2014 Worlds, Keenan DQ, and you'll see my match against this guy, Diego Gamonel. He force reaps, drives my leg across his body, like screams in pain, like writhes in pain. And then the ref just like DQs me, does the arm cross, and then the guy starts celebrating, like literally jumping up and down, like celebrating his DQ. If you're the kind of person who enjoys winning by DQ, I have a problem with you. That's the worst way to win. And if someone was ever reaping me and it doesn't hurt and they try and DQ the guy, I would be like, no, it was fine. Like, it didn't even reap me. It's fine. But if it's like pressure in your leg, the guy tries to heel hook you, that's one thing. Anyways, that's my experience with DQs. I know I was kind of all over the place, but if any of that can help you navigate your IBJJF tournament experience, I'll be happy.